It's November. Thanksgiving is just days away. I should have something to say about that, but I'm American, so we're going to skip that and talk about Christmas. Secret Santas. For almost a decade now, I've participated in various Secret Santa events, usually on DeviantArt, Tumblr, Gaia Online, and with about 10 years worth of experience, I figured that I'm in a pretty good position to give a few tips on what the proper etiquette should be if you choose to participate in or host an event like this. So without further ado, here are some things that you should and shouldn't do in a Secret Santa event, or really any kind of online gift exchange. This video will have two sections, one about running an event and the other about participating. So for the first section, we'll start with what you should do if you want to host a Secret Santa event. First things first, have a clear schedule. The first thing you want to do when hosting a gift exchange is to make sure that everyone is aware of the time frame of when things need to be done. That means clear times of when people can sign up, when people are expected to be working on their gift, and when the posting period can begin. Wherever you're hosting your event, have a timeline listed somewhere so people can easily check it. Along with this, make sure that you've given your participants a reasonable amount of time to work on their gift. If you schedule your event to begin the week before Christmas, you probably won't have a lot of people signing up. Have a scheduled check-in. You never know what's going on in other people's lives, and sometimes people forget things, so it's a good idea to have 1 or 2 check-ins with the participants to see how they're doing and if they will realistically be able to get their gift done by the time of the posting period. That way, if it seems like someone is going to flake on you, you have time to make a backup plan for whoever they are supposed to make a gift for. Only allow certain kinds of gifts to be given. The majority of the gifts that will be given in these kinds of events will be artwork and fan fiction. But some others I have seen being allowed are things like icons, fan mixes, aesthetic boards, among others. It can be hard to accurately compare a certain kind of gift to another, so it's best if you set up rules on how much must be completed on the gift for it to be considered finished. Most fan fictions are expected to be over 1,000 words in length, artwork needs to be a fully completed piece, fan mixes need to be over 16 songs or need to be an hour in length, etc. Whatever you choose to allow for your event, just be clear about what gifts will and will not be allowed. As an example, a friend of mine was once given a game by her Secret Santa, and while it was very well done, the rest of the gifts in the event were all artwork, making it feel unbalanced in what everyone ended up getting. Prepare for the worst. Always have a backup plan for if things go wrong, because when it comes to events like these, there's always going to be someone who drops out. Plan your safeguards early on, such as the check-ins, as well as getting people to sign up as pinch hitters during the initial sign-in phase. So if someone does drop out of the event during one of the check-ins, you can go to one of the people who signed up to make an extra gift, and they should have plenty of time to finish the original gift they are assigned to, as well as the pinch hit. Pinch hitters are generally the best if your event is a larger one, as you don't want to end up needing to make a bunch of gifts by yourself. And you also don't want to need to call out to the other people in your event to ask if they'd be willing to make extra gifts. The reception to that sort of thing is generally pretty negative. I would know, as one gift exchange I was participating in ended up having a lot of people drop out, and subsequently, they needed a lot of pinch hitters that they hadn't initially asked for, leading to a fair amount of backlash on account of how poorly the event had been run. So make sure you prepare for anything and everything to go wrong, because nobody wants to be part of a gift exchange that's an absolute mess. There are certain things within gift exchange rules that are up to the individual running it, such as whether or not you require your participants to write out a wish list of things they'd like, or if the event allows not safe for work content. And certain things can depend on if your event is for a specific fandom or not. Whatever kind of event you decide to do, just make sure that your rules are clear, the schedule allows for plenty of time to complete the gifts, and that you have backup plans ready for the worst case scenarios. Section 2. Now that we're on the participant side of things, the best thing to start off with is have a list of things you want. Now, I think most Secret Santas these days require you to give your Santa a certain amount of prompts, especially if the event you're part of has a specific theme to it. But certain events hosted by a single person don't always require a list and just have the mentality of, just look at the stuff they like and make something for them based off that. No, don't do that. Take the time to write out a small list of at least 3 different options for your Secret Santa to choose from, and put more if you want, but don't go insane. If the person running the event doesn't have it as a rule to make a list, make one anyway, and send it to the person in charge so that they can send it to your Secret Santa. That way your Secret Santa knows exactly what you'd like for a gift, and you don't need to worry about them just guessing on something, and potentially making you something that you didn't really want. Again, don't go crazy with different prompts. Usually just 3 different options for your Secret Santa to choose from is good enough. At the very least, don't go over 10. And just make sure that you get your list finished and sent out in a timely manner. You don't want your Secret Santa to have already started making something for you and then learn that they need to scrap what they've started on. Read and follow whatever instructions your giftee gives you. Looking at you, 2012 me, with your pyramid heads and your assassins, that wasn't part of the prompt. If the person you're making a gift for asks you to do something with one of their provided prompts, you'd better make something with one of those prompts. They gave you options, choose one of them. You don't get to ignore that request and just make whatever. Okay, Secret Santa, I've made up this list with these options, so hopefully something here will suit your fancy and you can— Here's a Vocaloid fanfic that you didn't ask for. You got Vocaloid stuff in your gallery, so that should be fine. But when writing up what you want, make sure that you're not going overboard with instructions. Yes, give your Secret Santa an idea of what you'd like to see, but don't give an overly complicated scenario of what you want your gift to look like. Part of the fun of a gift exchange is that you don't know what your gift will end up being, so let it be known about what you'd like, but make sure that you give your Secret Santa room to breathe and give them some creative freedom. For example, I want these 2 together as a couple, but could you make this one a demon? Boom. I told them what I wanted, with additional instruction on a change that I wanted made to one of the characters. The rest was up to them, and it turned out pretty nice. Don't contact your giftee directly. The purpose of a Secret Santa event is for the person you're making a gift for to not know who's making it for them. It defeats the entire purpose of a Secret Santa event when you let your giftee know who you are. If you need to ask your giftee a question regarding their gift, have one of the organizers ask them for you. If the event is taking place on Tumblr, there is an option of communicating to your giftee anonymously through their ask box, but you need to make sure that they have the anonymous option turned on. If not, go to an organizer. And if you're on a site like DeviantArt, certain profiles have it set so that it tells them who's been visiting their page, which could result in your cover being blown. In that event, you can set yourself to be invisible so you won't show up on their visitors list, or if you want to make things more difficult, like I like to do, visit the pages of everyone in the event as a way to throw people off. Don't expect too much from your Secret Santa. This one applies more to artists and Secret Santa events, as this ties in a little with the second point. When making your requests, you don't want to be overly complicated with what you're asking for, and you also shouldn't ask your Secret Santa to draw something really complex. From my experience, there are a lot of artists participating in these events who are new to drawing, and are using these as a way to practice and better hone their art skills. You don't want to push someone by having them draw an overly detailed character. Could you draw one of Frieza's forms for me? I could do that. I might go with his 4th form, but maybe if I'm feeling like challenging myself, I'll draw his 1st form. Could you draw me one of the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings? Okay, well that's a bit more complicated, but isn't too over the top, so I think I could probably do that one. Could you draw Rex from Mass Effect? He's a little more difficult. I'm not sure if I can do that. Could you draw the Transformers Prime version of Optimus Prime fighting the Transformers animated version of Megatron while Voltron is going up against Unicron in the background and Macross comes flying in from above? I only started drawing this year. Also, make sure you don't ask for too much going on with your gift. As was said before, don't give overly detailed instructions with your gift, but also don't ask your giftee to draw 7 characters all doing something. That's not fair to ask for, regardless if your Secret Santa is beginner or one that's been drawing for a longer period of time. You shouldn't treat this event with the mindset of getting a commission for free. You should expect your Secret Santa to work hard on your gift, but it's unfair to ask someone to draw the entire Disney princess lineup while you only need to draw Sally. And if you want something with multiple characters, the most you should ask for is 3. I think in general 3 is just a good number for this sort of thing. Don't be lazy. When you're making a gift, you are responsible for putting effort into whatever you make. If you don't try to make your gift as good as you possibly can and you don't even put in 10%, people will be able to tell. Trust me. It's a pretty unpleasant feeling when you put your all into a gift for someone and what you get in return is something that didn't even get a minimal amount of effort. So how do you like your Vocaloid fic? This thing is literally a paragraph long. You didn't even try. Pretty much, if you wouldn't be happy receiving the gift that you plan on giving, then you need to start over and make it better. Tell the organizers if you need to drop out. Sometimes life happens and you can't do the things that you were planning on. The holidays in particular are a stressful time of year, and if you find that there's no way you'll be able to finish your gift on time, you need to go to whoever is in charge and explain the situation to them. They will take care of your giftee. If you don't, there's a chance that your giftee will end up with nothing come time of the posting period, and you'll end up with a gift that you technically shouldn't have gotten. Even though most of these events have the aforementioned safeguards, you still want to go to the organizers to officially drop out of the event, because if not, there's a good chance that you'll be banned from any future events. Don't post early. This one might not be as important as the others, but at least for me, getting a gift before it's even December can affect the enjoyment of participating in a Secret Santa event. It doesn't feel like much of a Christmas present when you're giving me my gift in October. It just feels like you were trying to get this knocked out of the way as soon as possible. Again, this is a relatively minor issue when compared to everything else I've listed, and most Secret Santa events usually have set times on when people are allowed to post their gifts. But if you're part of an event that doesn't have a set time, I would recommend at least waiting until December 20th. Although personally I like to wait until Christmas Eve, just because, that feels like a good day to be giving out gifts, but I know for a fact that people I've made gifts for have gotten mad that they needed to wait that long, so December 20th just feels like a good compromise. Don't ask for gifts for other people. Now, in my many years of Secret Santas, I've only encountered this once, so hopefully it isn't too common, but in case you aren't aware, you should not ask your Secret Santa to make something for a person who is not part of the event. The point of these kind of gift exchanges is to give a gift to everyone in that participating group, so that everyone involved makes a gift for someone and also receives a gift from someone. It's really not right to enter and then request that your Secret Santa make a gift for someone outside of that group, because honestly, that sort of thing just feels like you're using the event to get a freebie gift instead of, actually commissioning someone to make that person a proper present. Now, when I ran over this list with my sister, she commented that the only scenario she could see this being acceptable was if the people who did this were both participating in the Secret Santa. As in, 2 friends entered the event together and asked that their Secret Santa make a gift for that other person, just as a way to see how well they know their friend, and to add an extra element of surprise. Of course, this may not work too well if one of them gets the other, or if they both get each other, but that's the only way that kind of request would be acceptable. I personally think that would make it a bit more complicated than was necessary, but I do agree that this is the only way that sort of thing could be allowed. But, main point, don't ask your Secret Santa to make a gift for someone else. Don't be ungrateful. When the posting period comes and you finally get your gift, don't be upset if it isn't exactly what you had in mind, especially if you left it too open-ended about what exactly you wanted. If your Secret Santa made your gift according to the instructions you set, You don't get to be mad if you wanted something more specific and you fail to put it out there. This may feel like a little bit of a contradiction considering one of the other points was to not be too specific, but there's a good middle ground that you can find there between controlling and just do whatever. For example, of something that actually happened to me, draw any of my OCs as a cute elf. Okay, well, here you go. What? Of all the OCs, why? You said any OC? Yeah, but not that one! If there is a genuine problem with your gift, such as something being included that you explicitly said not to be included, don't blow up on your Secret Santa. Take the issue to the people in charge of the event, discuss it calmly, and see if there's any way to fix the problem. Mistakes happen, even at events like these. But if you go about trying to fix them by chewing out your Secret Santa and the people in charge, you'll turn a situation that's supposed to be a happy one into one that's stressful for all parties involved. And certainly, if your reaction is negative enough, you could very well drive people away from these sort of events just out of fear of running into someone like you again. And overall, the most important thing for anybody when it comes to these events, treat everyone with respect. This is something that should go without saying, but, you know, it's the internet. It needs to be said. Secret Santas are supposed to be fun, just an opportunity to do something nice for someone else, and for someone to do something nice for you. If you go about being rude to the organizers, other participants, or your giftee, you could very well end up ruining the event for some. And at a time where there is such emotional turmoil in the world, no one wants a bad Secret Santa experience to add to their problems. For whoever needed this video, I hope that the things I listed out are useful to you, and if you decide to host a Secret Santa or just participate in one, I hope that your event goes well. I'd also like to give a shout out to my friend Juliana on DeviantArt, who helped me with some of the stuff on this list, as well as to Arca Draws on Instagram, who let me use the Colavan and Zarkon picture. Links to their pages will be in the description down below, so please go check them out. Thank you for watching.